Hey everyone, and welcome back to Holding the Line, a Logistics at a Crossroads podcast. It's me, your girl, Gia. And today we're going to be unpacking the story of copper. Yep, a metal that's gone from an industrial afterthought to the backbone of global electrification and the catalyst behind massive supply chain upheavals. Whether you run a warehouse, you oversee fleet procurement, or manage international sourcing, copper's resurgence is already reshaping your world in ways that are easy to miss until the invoices come due or the equipment lead times triple. So let's start by exploring why demand has exploded and why this matters so much for logistics or the supply chain industry. When people think about electric vehicles or even renewable energy, they picture batteries and wind turbines, solar power. But the connective tissue, literally the wiring that makes the electrification possible, is copper. Each EV requires up to 4 times more copper than a gasoline vehicle. Utilities upgrading grids across the US, China, and Europe are consuming copper faster than mines can produce it. And that surge doesn't stop with transportation. AI-powered hyperscale data centers, especially in China, are growing at a staggering pace. According to analyst Brandon Mellett, the average consumer in China doubled their power usage in 1 year. That jump in energy demand is pushing copper consumption higher in everything, from server racks to cooling systems. And every one of these sectors relies on moving copper, from raw ore to smelters, from rod mills to distribution hubs, and finally into the finished products. And rising demand means more freight movements and more competition for capacity. If it were only about demand, supply chains could adapt over time. But copper supply is under pressure on multiple fronts. Let's take on July 2nd, Shanghai copper prices hit a 2025 high of like 11,000 per ton, fueled because inventories are shrinking and they have front-loaded orders. Mellett pointed out that LME warehouses are down 22% year over year, and Chinese bonded warehouses are about 35% between January and June. And that's before you factor in potential 25% U.S. tariff likely to kick off in this fall. This uncertainty has importers racing to bring copper in early, jamming up shipping lanes and crowding warehouses. And this is the first domino. As traders pull orders forward, vessels fill faster, which means spot rates rise and warehouse operators struggle to find space. For logistics teams, planning ahead isn't an optional. It's about survival. And some analysts believe that copper's rally is part of a larger commodity supercycle, driven by what Mellett has called the 6 Ds. Decarbonization, clean energy spending. Deglobalization, more reshoring equals higher domestic material demand. Defense spending, militaries modernizing infrastructure. De-dollarization, new currency blocks complicating trade. Demographics, aging workforces slowing mining output. Droughts and climate chaos, disruptions to production and transport. This convergence means that even if one factor cools off, others may keep pressure high. And for freight brokers, warehouse managers, and procurement leaders, this could become the default setting, not the exception. In June, copper topped like 10,000 per ton. Early July, we just touched on it, it climbed again. This is touching on multi-month highs, mining.com reported. Copper's rally is driven by a cocktail of tight inventories, speculative flows, and genuine demand from China's infrastructure build-out. And the surge doesn't just affect miners and manufacturers. Rising prices ripple through the cost of every component that relies on copper, especially the logistics equipment your operation counts on. I'm talking cranes, electric forklifts, reefer trailers, warehouse automation. Nearly all of them have one thing that they depend on: copper wiring. And as prices climb, replacement parts cost more, lead times stretch out, and budgets begin to tighten. So where does copper go from here? Analysts see two paths. They see the bullish and the bearish. The bullish scenario basically covers inventories will stay critically low, green energy spending will accelerate, tariffs and bottlenecks choke supply, and prices break into uncharted territory. With the bearish scenario, you've got global growth cools, substitution metals like aluminum gain traction, speculative buyers exit positions, and then inventories start to rebuild. And the CME group summed it up perfectly. Copper is poised between two powerful forces: unstoppable electrification and the risk of economic cooling. And this uncertainty makes planning transport, warehousing, and procurement like forecasting a hurricane. And if you live in the South, just look for Jim. Whether you're bullish or bearish, here's the word again: resilience is the name of the game. So let's bring this on home. Here are 3 ripple effects you're likely to feel over the next few months. Higher equipment costs. Copper-intensive parts in electric trucks, cranes, conveyors are already getting pricier. And that means fleet upgrades will cost more and take a little longer to be delivered. Port and warehouse upgrades. If you start modernizing facilities to support the electrification, expect higher copper bills and delays in delivery schedules. And the supply chain complexity. As traders rush to secure the shipments before tariffs, warehouse space shrinks, and shipping lanes clog, and spot rates climb, don't forget that one. One industry logistics manager put it bluntly: this isn't just a mining story, it's a logistics story. Copper's resurgence is no longer hypothetical. It's shaping procurement, transport, and warehousing decisions in real time. Whether we're in the early stages of a super cycle or on the edge of a correction, one thing is certain: copper has become a barometer, I cannot talk today, of the global economy, and a stress test for logistics teams everywhere. So, thanks for joining me on this deep dive. If you found this episode helpful, consider subscribing or sharing it with a colleague. Until next time, stay informed, stay resilient, and remember, I'll be navigating the crossroads right